Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. We are so excited for this conversation. We are together, all four of us, helping to raise awareness about limb loss and limb difference. Coming up in April, we have the Limb Loss Awareness 5K that is hosted by the City of Kentwood Parks and Recreation and Mary Free Bed Orthotics and Prosthetics Bionics. And on the live stream, we got people from all the organizations. We've got Shelby Henshaw. She is the Recreation Program Coordinator for the City of Kentwood Parks and Rec. And we've got from Mary Free Bed Orthotics and Prosthetics, we've got Scott Riddle. He is the Vice President of O&P. And also, in addition to both of those guys, we have Nicole. So if you've been part of our live streams last year for this event, you might recognize her face, Nicole Kuilen. She is the Director of Impact Campaigns in the So Everybody Can Move lead for the Amputee Coalition. So fun, full conversation here. Excited to have you guys all on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So we're going to start with kind of the context for this all. It's the upcoming Limb Loss Awareness 5K. Shelby, can you just tell us about this event and where it is and when it is and what this is for the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our 7th year getting to host this Limb Loss Awareness 5K. It's a really fun event that we kind of host in conjunction with our adaptive recreation programs. We use it as a fundraiser for those programs, but it's really just a great way to get out and get healthy and moving. But while also, talking about limb loss and limb difference and supporting that community, whether it's their families, their caregivers, friends. So takes place at the end of every April, usually the last Saturday in April, right in Kentwood at Veterans Memorial Park.
Yeah, it's a fun, exciting event. We've usually had really great weather for it. And Nicole, you were our race ambassador last year. You flew in from the West Coast, I believe, Washington, Oregon, right?
Yes, from Washington State.
And so you came in to participate. What was it like being here, sharing your story, and being around so many people that are living with limb difference, participating in this event?
Yeah, well, I was absolutely honored to be back in one of my home states of Michigan. I graduated from the University of Michigan. Go Blue. So it was great to be back and to be around such an amazing community. An honor to be the race ambassador and just to see the community and the positive energy that has been built 7 years running as part of this race and Limb Loss 5K. I'm an individual living with limb loss due to osteosarcoma at the age of 10. And I got to meet so many other individuals who are also part of the limb loss and limb difference community. And just to have that sense of camaraderie and support, it's just incredible. It's something that I wish I would have had growing up, having an event like this that can bring the community together, make us feel empowered, help increase people's self-confidence and self-esteem. Just looking through some of these photos, I mean, it really shares the energy and the excitement and the community that was there. So absolutely, it was an honor to be the race ambassador. Wish I could be back in person this year.
And it's just so cool because we're going to get into your story, but you are just a disability advocate. And so, Scott, what does it mean for our organization, this partnership between Kentwood and Mary Free Bed, to have somebody like Nicole come in and be a part of this event?
Oh, Nicole, I was going to say as well, Nicole, there's an open spot for you for next year as well. So we'd love to have you back. And we'd love to have you back because you're just a wonderfully warm and kind and passionate person. And I think you're a real leader in our field, and you've moved the needle in so many states already related to this cause you're supporting. And I think the 5K, your participation last year, largely set the stage for our state in raising awareness to limb loss and the needs of so many of those who live every day with limb loss. So thank you for being so inspiring and for being a part of that event.
Absolutely. So Nicole, tell us a little bit for people who might not know your story. You kind of hinted at it a little bit at the beginning, but just tell me like your journey with limb loss and how what brought you to this point today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma when I was 10 years old, and my family and I had to make the difficult decision to amputate my leg to save my life. I was living in Minnesota at the time, but also had family in Michigan as well. But going through that process, I think one of the biggest things that my family was shocked to realize after my amputation was that I was only provided one prosthesis by insurance, and I was told that it wasn't waterproof and it wasn't meant for physical activity. And that was something that was really important to me. This picture here actually is me jumping into Torch Lake in northern Michigan, where my grandpa had a cabin. So obviously after my amputation, I was being told like I couldn't play like I used to as a kid and be able to go in the water with my leg. And so growing up, that was incredibly limiting to me to only have this one prosthesis, anything else considered not medically necessary. My family, not having the ability to pay for things out of pocket. And, trying to be active in sports and school, I was constantly breaking my regular everyday walking foot, just trying to be active. And so it was actually when I got into, after college, I started training for my first half marathon with one of my best friends, and ended up in physical therapy because I was basically running my pelvis out of alignment. It was just an incredible amount of pain. And I was in Michigan at the time. I was working for the University of Michigan School for Environment and Sustainability because that was an area of incredible passion for myself. But when I went to the University of Michigan and I had applied to the business school, in my application, I had written kind of a vision of someday doing something in relation to prosthetics and in relation to the amputee community. And it just seemed like that was now kind of culminating in this experience of, being denied access to prosthetics, now being in physical therapy twice a week from this incredible amount of pain, and really just kind of pushing back and questioning the system, and really kind of really realizing my role as a disability advocate, which I had not really considered myself before. And so at that time decided to quit my job and do a 1,500-mile triathlon down the West Coast to raise awareness. It was called Forest Stump. So in some of those pictures that you might have seen before last year, as the race ambassador, I wore my, Forest Stump shirt to kind of share awareness on that, and kind of, share that story with the community. But after that journey down the coast was when I got noticed by a charity and received my first ever running blade, which was just incredibly changed my life. It was absolutely life-changing to finally have access to the appropriate care. Before, running on a walking leg really felt like a brick. It was incredibly painful. But now, as a result of having access to the running blade, this is me running. That picture was me running in the Boston Marathon. I've been able to run in the Boston Marathon the past 2 years. I'm currently training for the London Marathon this coming month, which is why I can't make it to the Limb Loss 5K because it's the next day. But that's a little bit about my story, kind of my journey to advocacy. And so that was back in 2017, doing that 1,500-mile triathlon, and just realizing that this was an actual policy issue and needed to be changed at the kind of systems level. I've been working on it ever since. And now that has grown into So Everybody Can Move as a national movement to change state-based laws to require insurance to cover this medically necessary care. And this is something that we're excited to be bringing to Michigan this coming year.
Yeah, that's exciting. So how many states have you worked with and where you're building these laws and really changing disability advocacy for patients?
Yeah, over the past 2 years, we've now recruited 40 states that are now part of the movement, which is just amazing. We've introduced legislation in over 20 states over the past 2 years. This year alone, we've introduced bills in 12 states. And these are all of our state leaders that are on the ground, our volunteers that are doing this work. I'm working at the national level as our campaign lead, but all the individuals you see on the picture here, that was in Washington, they're the ones that are really doing the work and getting work done. I was fortunate that I live in Washington State now, so I got to be part of the team in Washington. Mm-hmm. There's other pictures from Minnesota to Oregon that I've been able to be on the ground with them as well. But yeah, we've seen just an incredible amount of success, and 8 states that have so far enacted this legislation across the country, and many more to come this year as a result of the sheer number of bills that we've got going. So we've really created a playbook and a record for success that a lot of our state leads and our volunteers can build on as part of the movement.
And so our Limb Loss Awareness 5K is about building community and also trying to make impacts for patients outside of those events in their everyday life. And so that's why we're raising funds for Kentwood Parks and Recreation for their adaptive programs, while we're bringing our staff to get involved. Shelby and Scott, what do you think it means to your guys' teams to have someone like Nicole support our event and to help just further the mission that we all have?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start. working with our adaptive recreation programs, I mean, we get to, work with hundreds of people across the state of Michigan just to provide them, recreation. But there's a lot of people that don't even know they have access to those things. So just being able to, bring this up to a different stage and be so public about it, to really encourage people to come out and try new things, and know that they can be a part of this, even if, they feel like they have a million things stacked against them.
Yeah. What about you, Scott? What's it like to your team as they get to see Nicole at our events and get to hear from her? How do you think it supports their day-to-day work?
We have a wonderful mission at Mary Free Bed, restoring hope and freedom through rehabilitation. And we have a team of about 130 committed to orthotics and prosthetics. And we work hard every day to see that mission through. And it's incredibly inspiring, Nicole, to hear your story, traversing the entire length of that West Coast. I mean, that inspires me. And I think it's very moving for all of us. And I think it opens a door for us to make a significant change, to play a big part in the community at whole. And I think, to Shelby's point, I think so much of restoring hope and freedom occurs in community. And I think it's events like this, the 5K, that allow for those relationships to foster and develop. And I think that your participation in that 5K and with our teams helps us play a part in that.
Excellent. Well, Shelby, let's bring it back to this year's event. Can you remind us some of the details? What time is it, and how can people get connected with our 5K?
Yeah, absolutely. As we've mentioned, everyone is always welcome to come out, whether you're an avid runner or if this is just your very first time participating in a race. Everyone's welcome. The race is on Saturday, April 26th. The event starts at 9 a.m. So there's lots of community booths. So again, with that community aspect, you can, meet different people that, all work towards this common goal. But the race officially kicks off at 10:30 a.m. And then there will be a brief award ceremony afterwards as well.
Awesome. And it's not just for adults. There's also a kids race too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are also doing a kids fun run with this. So we recognize that some of the kiddos might not want to do a whole 5K, but they still want, they want their medal. They want to participate and have fun as well. So at 10 a.m. prior to the start of the 5K, we'll be hosting a kids fun run. So everyone that's there will get to cheer on the kids as they take some laps in the park for their fun run as well.
We actually have some kids with limb differences that are participating too. So that's really cool to see that it's all ages. Unfortunately, limb difference and limb loss affects people of all ages. And we're lucky to have some kids who are participating as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all of our adaptive programs, we're looking at toddlers all the way to 90 plus. So being able to really, truly be inclusive to everyone at all abilities is really important, and why we love this event so much. And getting able to partner with FreeBed is just the cherry on top of it all.
And we're just so thankful. We started working together last year, becoming a title sponsor and supporting this event. So tell us a little bit more about Kentwood's programs and services. So this is raising money to go to support your adaptive recreation programs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, our adaptive recreation programs, we try to serve people of all abilities. So we do some pretty high-risk activities like rock climbing and water skiing and kayaking, but we bring it all the way down to our weekly leisure club. So that's a group of adults with cognitive disabilities that get together just to have fun, do social outings. So we really try to hit people where they're interested in recreating and participating in leisure. So whatever the interest is, whether they want to challenge themselves or be more social. We try to hit it all and then keep all of our costs as low as possible so that there aren't as many barriers for participation.
Now, Mary Free Bed's been partnering with Kentwood in your adaptive programs through our wheelchair sports program for many years. Scott, tell us why we at Mary Free Bed Orthotics and Prosthetic wanted to partner with Kentwood and why they're such a good fit for both of our missions.
Sure. Well, this is the only 5K in the state committed to raising awareness for limb loss. So I think it begins there, and they've been doing it for 7 years now, and they're clearly committed to it. And we have a wonderful partnership with them. And Shelby, you're just fun to work with. The whole team is great to work with. And it's two community-centric organizations coming together for a really important cause. And I think we have two like-minded organizations. And the proof is in the pudding, and the
Mhm.
5K, just speaking to last year, it was a real success. And I think that success can be attributed to our two like-minded organizations working
Mhm.
really well together.
Yeah, look at this picture here. And this was just, there's so many, over 300 people participated last year, raised, I think, over $20,000. But this was just our Mary Free Bed team here. Staff and patients, they were all involved. So what a fun group. And there's just so many other organizations that are there, that are supporting, like Shelby said, the vendors, the booths that you can check out and learn about things. So you can be someone who's living with limb loss, or just someone who wants to support people living with limb loss. So you got also this fun picture here where it's show your medal. So a lot of people who have a prosthetic limb that are here, we get a picture with the group together. So it's a fun thing. Shelby, before we wrap up the conversation, just let us know how we can get registered and what that process is like.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether, you're looking to sponsor the event and bring your organization or business, or if you want to run, or even just come and support those who are running, everyone is welcome to come out on Saturday, April 26th. All of our information for this is available on our website, kentwood.us/limb-loss5K. And there you can see where you can go to sign up to become a runner, to sponsor, or even if you're interested in volunteering at race check-in or along the course.
And we'll have a link to that in the comments while this is live streams going, so you can see that there. Nicole, for people who are watching this, what would be like your final advice? So people who are participants, people who work in the industry, or just the general public, what would you say to them that they should take away from limb loss and the awareness we should be building?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, what we've highlighted here is the importance of community and the importance of showing up as a group to be able to spread awareness on this issue. I'm hopeful that we'll have some legislators in attendance at this year's 5K, because this will be an incredible opportunity to educate them on our needs, on the rights of our community, and be able to show them firsthand of, why is a prosthesis for running medically necessary? Why do we need access to this care? And I think a lot of times legislators just don't even know that this is something that our community needs. So I think bringing us together to have this platform, to have this voice is so important. And any advice that I would give in terms of, I can't be there in person as the race ambassador, but I hope someone else takes the opportunity to be that person on the course that's high-fiving everyone, that's, cheering and telling everyone they're doing a great job, and, just keeping the stoke high throughout the course of it. And I also tell individuals a little bit of advice, and bring your phone, because you're going to meet a lot of incredible people, and, open up your contacts, invite them to get connected with you. I met so many new friends last year, and we just need as many people as possible to be advocates in our community. So it's going to be a great event, and I will be cheering you all on from London.
Awesome. And good luck to you in London. Nicole, if people want to follow you and learn more about your organizations, where can we direct them to find more information?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out soeverybodycanmove.org to learn more about the initiative. You can check us out on Instagram at soeverybodycanmove. And if you're interested in following me as well, you can check me out at Run Forest Stump.
Awesome. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching this live stream and learning about the Limb Loss Awareness 5K coming up in April 26th. This is a partnership between the City of Kentwood Parks, Recreation. We're raising funds for their adaptive programs, and Mary Free Bed Orthotics, Prosthetics, and Bionics. So once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and stay well.